The levels of Renaissance Man are factotum, humanist, polymath, and at the top, Universalis. Factotum has 8 aspects, each worth 1 point for a total of 8. Humanist has 4 aspects, each worth 2 points, also for a total of 8. Polymath also has 4 aspects, but each is worth 4 for a total of 16. And a Universalist is all those points added together for a total of 32. Let's recap how you can become a factotum. You would have to have the majority of the aspects: beauty, fame, civic, wealth, career, family, humanity, and leader. And of course, that's what everyone's aiming for. To be ranked a humanist, you need at least 4 points. Now that could be 2 each in 2 of the categories, or 2 in 1 category and 1 each in 2 more, or 1 in each of the 4 categories, for a total of 4 to be a humanist. The level of polymath works very similarly, except you need 8 points. So 4 in 2 of the categories, or 4 in 1 of the categories, and 2 in 1 of the categories, and 1 in each of the remaining 2 categories, or any combination like that, for a total of 8 to be a polymath. And if you had a total of 4 for factotum, a total of 4 for humanist, and a total of 8 for polymath, you would qualify as a Homo Universalis, the universal man. That's a pretty well-rounded life, and you are certainly a Renaissance man. Of course, all Renaissance men want to work up. They don't want to be at the lowest level, so you want to get more of the points of factotum. You want more aspects in humanist. You want more aspects in the polymath, because there are even higher levels. To be a complete humanist, you would have 2 in each of the aspects: 2 in art, 2 in sports, 2 in travel, 2 in philosophy. You will achieve the highest level that's possible in humanist, all 8 points. That would be a complete humanist. Similarly, in a polymath, you would want 4 in each of the 4 aspects. So you would want 4 in science, 4 in medicine, 4 in law, and 4 in business, all 16 points. You would be a complete polymath. And if you were a complete polymath, and you were a complete humanist, and you had all 8 of the aspects in factotum for a total possible 32 points, you would be a complete Universalist. My path to Universalist was long and arduous, but incredibly fulfilling. My family was with me most of the way, as yours will be too. The best way to understand what it takes to become a Universalist is to look at some of the people who have. Let's take a look at Albert Schweitzer. Albert Schweitzer is pretty famous. He had a Nobel Peace Prize. He has a hospital named after him in Lambaréné, Africa, which I visited. Of course, he has a 4 in the medicine aspect, 2 in the business aspect from running that hospital. He wrote a book on philosophy. He was an artist as a writer. He traveled. Africa is where his hospital was. He had most of the factotum attributes, but not well, giving him 16.5 points as a Universalist. Who else on here do we know? How about Benjamin Franklin? Everybody knows about Benjamin Franklin. We don't have to read his extensive bio. Of course, he had 4 in science. He was a pseudo-lawyer, especially for that time. Same thing on medicine. Same thing on business. He ran the newspaper and several other businesses. Wasn't as super successful as known for it, but good enough for half the points. Philosophy, of course. As an artist, he was a writer, so of course. He traveled to France, he traveled to other countries. He had all of the factotums for a total of 25. That's a very high Universalist. Who else do we have? Howard Hughes is an odd one. I never really thought of him as a Universalist until I researched him. Turns out he was a business tycoon, which we did know. An investor, we probably knew that. An aviator, yeah, we knew that. An aerospace engineer, an inventor. He made movies, and he was a philanthropist. He made many movies, so art is a 2. Also is a golfer, as well as being a record-setting pilot, so definitely sports is a 2. Eccentric, the man defines eccentric. Too bad there weren't more points than that. He gets a 1. He was married but no children, so only a half. So he's a 18.5 Universalist. One of my favorite characters was Richard Burton. This man was an explorer who spoke 29 languages and went everywhere. He was an ethnologist and a spy and a linguist and a poet and a fencer and a diplomat and a choreographer and an orientalist and a soldier and a writer and a translator and a geographer and explorer. Woo! He definitely gets a lot of points. So he founded the Anthropological Society of London. That's not bad. Plus all the other science things. So he gets a 4. In business, he was the captain in the East India Company, but he only gets a 2. He wasn't a scion of business or anything. He wrote a lot about sexuality, so philosophy is a 2. He wrote many books and translations. Art is a 2. Sports, he was into falconry and fencing. It's worth a 1. Beauty, incredibly handsome. He was married, no children, so half a point there, and he got the rest of the factotum. He was a 20.5 Universalist. Teddy Roosevelt, my favorite president, possibly my favorite person of all time. He certainly accomplished a lot, especially in his day and age. Science, he's a 2. If you read his biographies, he did everything. He was kind of dilettante at everything, but he did everything, so half of those points. Law, he went to law school, never became a lawyer. Business, very poor businessman, but you still get a point. If you do business, you still learn about business, whether you're good at it or not. Philosophy, definitely philosophical bent in his speaking and in his books. Art, well-known writer of his time. Travel, oh my goodness. The man discovered several things in South America. He collected all the original animals for the Museum of Natural History. Sports, he gets a 2 for taxidermy. Beauty, well, this man's personality was off the charts. He was married, had 5 children. He was President of the United States. Let's go way back in the past. Imhotep, 2600 BC, was an Egyptian who served under the 3rd dynasty. He was chancellor to the pharaoh, high priest of the sun god. He was the earliest known architect, engineer, and physician in history. He's a 23 Universalist. Could be a 28, I don't know, but definitely a Universalist of the highest caliber 5,000 years ago.